Hey everyone, it's that time again. It's another video from me. This is just another kind of project wrap-up video, if you like. No, I wonder if I could call them that actually, wrap-up videos. Anyway, I have, believe it or not, finished another kit. And yeah, this is probably one of the, in the recent times, one of the ones that I've finished kind of the quickest from start to finish. I can't remember when I started, but it wasn't a huge amount of time ago, really. So, what this is the Hobby Boss Leopard 2A6. Now, the Hobby Boss kit might not be the best on the market, but it's affordable, and there's quite a few, so you've kind of got quite a lot of choice, really. Meng have actually just released a Leopard 2A7, which I believe has some different armor modules on it. I think it goes back to having the shorter gun, a remote weapon station, and possibly different side armor. I believe it's more intended for kind of operations in urban built-up environments, which is kind of where modern fighting is taking place these days. And traditional tanks are maybe less suited to that, with longer barrel guns, and so range is not really as much of an aspect as it is in an open field. So obviously that's probably a better kit. Generally the kit went well together. It's detailed, it's nice, it fitted okay. My main issue was the lack of clear molded parts for bits that should be clear. Headlights, taillights, the vision ports around the turret, around the cupolas, sights, those kind of things. Well, certainly the vision blocks around there, the periscope there, the gunner's periscope and the driver's ones are all supplied as these kind of clear acetate that's partially cut with the right size, but they're rubbish. I've got them in, but they're not great. They don't stick in very well, therefore they don't give a good backing for adding the kind of reflective foil to give the kind of laser coating effect that I quite like to put on. Therefore it doesn't have it. The headlights unfortunately just kind of have to be painted silver because they're just solid plastic. Taillights are not too bad because you can then put a clear, like to me a clear red or clear orange over them for the indicators, reverse lights, etc. So that doesn't look too bad. But the headlights, nah, I'm not a fan. Which is a shame, because I'm actually really pleased with how this turned out, but it's let down by those, and unfortunately it's kind of beyond my modelling ken at the moment on how to make a solid plastic headlight actually look like a headlight without a clear part for it. So that's just there, and that's something that is a negative of the kit. Other than that, it's actually really good. It's nicely detailed. It's got rubber band tracks, but they're actually quite nicely moulded. They're not too bad. They glue together with plastic glue, so they're kind of like the Tamiya ones you get now. And considering the top run is hidden behind the side skirts, and you chuck a load of dust and stuff on them, I'll be honest, I don't really think that at your normal kind of couple of foot looking at it on a shelf, you'd really know the difference between them and some more expensive individual link tracks once you weather them up. At least not in my eyes. So on something like this, it wouldn't have, in my eyes, wouldn't have been worth the investment. On some other things certainly, but maybe not on this. So I don't know how well you can see it there. This light's not very good. It's a bit yellow. I just kind of went for a dusty look. It's got built up dirt and dust around the running gear. I'll put photos up at the end, obviously, as usual. So I'll just give you a kind of a quick around. But yeah, it will. I'm quite pleased with the weathering on it actually. I kind of got the. Oops. I think I kind of, you can't really see it now, but I think I kind of got a look of kind of encrusted, dry dirt, if you like. Done quite well, but you can't see it because it's behind the side skirts. But I know it's there. The wheels, and quickly how the wheels turned out. Again, there's photos of these. Don't know if you'll really see them. You see them maybe look quite light there rather than green. I kind of put some kind of wee oil stains and stuff, so there's little kind of shiny spots where there's some oil maybe leaked out the hubs and stuff onto the kind of down and stuff. So I'm quite pleased with that. That looks quite good. I quite like the tools. They provide a nice little kind of point of colour, if you like, kind of light wood colour on the handles, and I used some Vallejo AK Interactive Extreme Metal, the steel colour. I just brushed it on to the spades. That's the ones. Spades. They're spades. Onto the metal bits of the spades. So they look quite good actually. Quite pleased with them. I left all the, as I said, I left all the sights and things closed. Quite usually like to do those things kind of open on other vehicles, but I closed them all up on this just because, well, frankly, they're a bit crap. So yeah, that's that. The decals of what there are went down well. I settled over any kind of raised bits where there was any, so that was good. Painted with the Vallejo paints. Instead of using, usually what I do for NATO, I've got the NATO Green Vallejo primer, which, yes, okay, Vallejo primer, but I kind of use it as a primer slash base coat, and it kind of does okay. And then I paint the green and black on, but actually what I used this time was Vallejo Model Air Russian Green instead of the NATO Green, and actually it's a very similar colour. And once you've chucked some weather on there, who's caring? And actually I kind of liked it. It was a little bit darker. I quite like that. It actually looked quite good. I think the actual Vallejo NATO Green works quite well for French vehicles. The French camo seems to be, as much as it's the same colours, is obviously their own variant of the green and stuff. And actually I've also found it looks a bit brighter than, say, maybe the Germans or the Dutch. So that works quite well for them, but for this I went slightly darker than I have done on previous NATO screen vehicles, and quite pleased. So yeah, there'll be photos after this, so stick around for those. What else am I up to generally? Just a quick thing. I've got it's the Academy now, but it's the X Accurate Miniatures 148th B25B Mitchell Bomber, which is the Doolittle Raid boxing, which I'm doing for the ISM Pacific Theatre group build. So the fuselage is together. I've still got to finish sanding some areas of the main fuselage seam, and rescribing, re-riveting. Tail's just taped in place for now, so that's done though. And I've just started to put the wings together. So that's kind of coming on slowly whenever I feel like sanding things. What else am I working on? I'll move that out of the way. Bring this down for now. So I started this ages ago, not too long after it came out, which is the Meng PZH 2000. I have built a Revell one before. The parts breakdown of this kit, as I've said before, is very similar, but it's better, all the details are finer, and it's just generally a nicer kit. Nice metal barrel, included Indolink tracks and stuff. Since I've done a German one, I'm doing this one as a Hellenic Army one. It's basically very similar NATO camo, but it has tan in it as well, so it looks quite similar to the old kind of 1980s US, what was it, MERDC or something, camo, the kind of four-tone camo they used to run around in. It was quite similar to that, especially with the shade of tan I used. It's a little bit different from kind of what it's supposed to be, only because the paint, although when it's supposed to be, didn't work very well. It kept splattering all over the place, so I changed it for a different one, slightly different tone, but it painted better, so I'm quite happy with that. I've just got to finish detail painting, and then it's ready for a gloss coat before washes and stuff. I also have a Revell twin-seater Eurofighter in progress. I painted the top black and then had grey in it anyway, so I just did some modelling on the top to see if I could get the top coat of plain grey to break up a little bit, but it's light grey over light grey, so it doesn't really work, but yeah, hey ho. I used the Mega Ammo paint on the bottom, and it's shite. And don't bother telling me that you can get it to work by using Mr. Hobby thinner and stuff, because I've got some, and I double checked with somebody when I bought this that this was the right one, and was told it was. It makes no difference at all. I have quite a few, I don't know if you can see them here. I have bought several sets over the years. I bought this kind of tracks and wheel set. One or two of the paints in that are usable. The kind of rubber wheels colour is usable, and the dark tracks paint is usable, so they are okay. But and then bought a modern Russian set with the eye of painting my T19 to S19, and they were shite. Did the orange peel crap. Even when thin with that, even if sprayed neat, it orange peeled. I sprayed thin layers, I sprayed thick layers, no matter what, it was shit. Bought the British Modern set, did the same thing. So anyway, that's all for now, and I'll see you after the next one. Bye.